Right on. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Garage Door Heroes. This is the Garage Door Heroes podcast, and I'm Rob Leishman with Legit5 Marketing, and we run this podcast hoping to provide information, education, and inspiration to garage door dealers and folks in the industry. So today I have a very special guest. This is a great friend of mine. He's been working with us for quite some time. It's been a ton of fun working with him. And I don't really want to tell his story. I want him to tell his story because it's really great. And anybody that might be just starting out, anybody that might be kind of maybe you've gone along a long time and kind of haven't really bounced up to or jumped up to the level that you want to, this story today could definitely help give you the motivation, inspiration you need to take some leaps. My friend's name is Eddy Womack of Womack's Garage Doors in Ohio. And this guy is crushing it, folks. This guy is the exact story that everybody that we as a marketing company want to tell. And that is a guy that kind of needed some structure, some foundation, and launched some marketing and give him more opportunities. So we'll leave it at that. Eddy, thanks a ton for joining us today.
No problem at all.
Oh, you're a stud. You're awesome. So Eddy, kind of give us the backstory, kind of give us the foundation. Where did you come from in garage doors? How did you get to running Womack's Garage Doors, services? Tell us how we got here.
Well, like any story, kind of starts out with, I got to the point to where I failed a few times, not with garage doors or garage door companies. I also kind of cross over and do other things as a technician. I was working for cranes companies and just had the worst luck in the world when it came to it. A little bit, there's a lot I could say about it, but I got to the point where I was like, man, what am I going to do? And then me and my wife were chatting about it. And I'm like, what if I start my own company again? And she was like, what do you mean? Like sole proprietor or like full on like branded and everything? I said, well, I don't want to like, no offense to any of the guys that are like, discount doors or, any of that. I just didn't want to go with somewhat of a generic name. I wanted to be like a little bit more of a household name. Yeah. So something that people can say, oh, yeah, call Womack's or, for example, call Don's or call A1 or call Precision, like an actual name. And they're like, oh, yeah, we know those guys or whoever it is. So my great grandfather had the name Womack before it was Womack for business purposes. And he changed it because it was easier to spell Womack and say it, but I kind of went backwards with it. It was always my alias or my gamer tag for some of the younger millennials out here. And, going forward with that, just went with Womack's Garage Door Repair and then came up with the slogan, Technicians That Care, right after it, and kind of just stuck. And then for me, it was a little bit different. So like, I had a little bit of a goose egg of money when I first started. So I had in my savings account, I probably had maybe $5,000, like $5,000. That's all I had when I first started this business. And from $5,000 with no job, I took 1 month to build my own website, to do all the groundwork. I asked a billion questions. I mean, I probably spent 16 to 20 hours a day doing something.
Wow.
And within the first month, I was trying to launch in March 1st because I had just done the LLC in February 7th, I think.
Right.
And by March, I was like, all right, if anything, I'm scared of having too many customers. Open the doors and it's like, you see one of those little dust bunnies go by. There's nobody there. It's like, man, I did so much work. I'm everywhere. I'm on Yelp. I'm on Angie's. I'm on Facebook, YouTube. I mean, you name it, I'm there, right? And it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So then I started doing my own marketing little bit by little bit. And I'm thinking like, man, I'm spending $5 a day. That's a lot of money, right? That's too much money. I'm not joking with you. Like, I remember when I was first speaking with Rob and he was like, well, are you using Nextdoor? I was like, man, I don't even like Nextdoor. That doesn't work at all. You're crazy. No. And he's like, hold up, young man. I'm going to explain to you, okay, that you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, tell me, beat me up with criticism. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. And, I like people that are fair and that'll just straight tell you, right? Because if I don't know what I'm talking about, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I did not know what the heck I was talking about because after 4 days of waiting after we signed up, the first day the ads finally went out, I went from running 2 to 3 calls a week and trying to play the call everybody as fast as possible game with Angie's, and that's so demoralizing, to having my own leads contacting me with all their information in a CRM that Legit5 built. It was like they design it in a way and make it in such a way to where they treat you kind of like your baby Huey, right? To where it's all right there for you. You know what I mean? They make it super easy. And the biggest thing for me really is, I can talk all day, and Rob knows that. That's why he wanted me here, because I'll just go off for 2-3 hours, like a Joe Rogan podcast or something. But just going from 2 to 3 calls to fully booked schedule. And I'm not joking about that. Like, I still have, I remember before I used House Call Pro as my CRM, I used Microsoft Bookings because it was for free, and I would get email confirmations sent to my customers. So I liked it. You can see the blips on that first month from when you saw when I was doing stuff to when they took over. And I don't know. I think the biggest thing that people are afraid of, when you first start your LLC or your company or whatever, you're going to get those calls from random companies that call everybody up when they first start a business. I don't even know how they get your information, but obviously they get it somehow, saying, "Oh, we'll charge you $200 a month." Run away. Don't do it. Run away. Nobody worth their own salt would only charge you $200, right? And I thought that was a lot of money then too, and I mean, $200 in the grand scheme of things, you got to think about what you're doing per call, right? So obviously Legit5 is not only charging $200. I don't think they would be able to respect themselves if they were only charging that much. It's a lot more than people would probably think it was, or a lot less than a lot of people would think it is too. At first, I was like, ouch, that's a lot of money, man.
I remember.
And then Rob was like, just at the end of the month, it'll be a drop in the hat. And that's what it is. There's been a lot of times where I thought I knew better. And I keep being proved time and time that once you start marketing, you never stop, because the moment you stop, it hurts you, and you will see it. It might not happen today. It might not happen in 2 weeks, but 1 month. Oh gosh. I tried to say I didn't like Yelp for a little bit. We found that out quickly. Gosh, we found out quick how much Yelp has into the game. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I can talk to you all day, Robin. You know that. Is there any more questions that you felt you wanted to ask me specifically, because I'm your case study?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, dude. No, thanks. And that's a great story. So, how long were you in the industry prior to starting Womack?
So I would say I was in the industry for a combined time of 14, 15 years before everything kind of happened.
Got it.
It was definitely, because I had started doing garage doors since I was 15, 16 years old.
Right.
And then my father, just give a little backstory about that. My father's an attorney, and he didn't want me to work with my hands. So he tried to push me off at his brother's company. And I kind of fell in love with doing this stuff. And then I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to go with what I thought was a more respectable trade. So I became an electrician. And then after that point, I said, I don't want to keep going into really confined spaces, because I'm 5'9". I'm an average guy. So I'm smaller. So I go in smaller spaces because all the bigger guys or whatever it was, even though I was a licensed electrician, and just didn't enjoy it. So I went back to garage doors, moved to Florida, worked for a couple of the bigger names in the industry, and then kind of just fell in love with it, and started making, quite a bit more money, because I was just okay with talking with people for a while, and I enjoy it. And a lot of companies don't have the same understanding that, some of the really small companies do. Some companies just want to charge you $1 over a part. And it's like, I don't know how you guys are even able to make a buck, you know? So in my understanding, I don't want to be like where everybody else charges, the absolute most for their service, but I don't want to be, way below, what me and Beecher, my business partner, call him Uncle Bob or Uncle Tommy, right? We don't want to be an Uncle Tommy, that comes over and fixes a garage door for pennies or a pack of beer or whatever it is. But I get off on tangent like crazy, going back to how many years I've done this. I would say closer to like 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly.
Right on.
Longer than I've wanted to. I will say that much.
Right. It's awesome that when you finally took the leap. Right. And when we first got together, it was just you. It was just you.
Mm-hmm.
And you were working. We were trying to get you busy 7 days a week. And now it's not just you. You mentioned Beecher. Now it's not just you. And now are you in the truck every day, all day, running out and whatever?
No, not at all. Like I didn't mean to overtake you or anything, but I'm in what I call my office / studio, making content, doing anything I possibly can to build the business. And Beecher has been able to give me the opportunity to, stay in here, because the longer I'm in here, the better our business grows, because I just come up with ideas. I bug the crap out of, Rob and Tanner, because I'm like, hey, what can we do next? What can we do here? So if you leave me too long in this office, I'm just going to call everybody and bug everybody to get something rolling that's new or fresh or whatever it is.
Right.
And then a bigger step was buying GoPros or cameras, audio equipment to get a lot of the stuff done. Because here's the thing, if people don't know who you are, they don't have any content out there,
for sure.
They just don't know, can't become a household name without them knowing what your face looks like or how you sound, or if you're on TV or Nextdoor, Yelp, Google, everything.
Right.
Beecher came in the industry as an installer, and he was working for a company that cut a lot of corners. So when we first met, there was a lot of training that we did personally. But it's impossible to find somebody that listens and that wants to learn. But after realizing how much he didn't know, coming into it like, oh, I'm a garage door guy, I know how to do it. But then he's like, whoa, I don't know at all as much as I thought I did. Right. So he came up very open-minded, and it kind of just got to a point where I knew he was the most loyal person ever.
Right.
I just felt it in my blood. And then, so if anything, he's learning how to become, going from a garage door guy to a garage door man. I don't know how to, so a garage door guy, you can give a couple doors to, hey, go install that, or hey, give a couple springs to. Garage door man is the guy you call when, in my understanding of it, is he can figure anything out.
Yeah.
He's in his transition period to becoming that, with me behind him, helping him at any point in the field. And on top of that, we have a couple other technicians as well. One guy works part-time. His name is Noah. And we also have a guy named Frank, and he works part-time, full-time with door installations, and he's still kind of getting there.
Yeah.
And Beecher's been working with him a lot. So I'm pretty much, I just write checks now. It kind of sounds weird, and this has been February to the new year. We got on Fox News, and it's kind of just exploded.
And that's also so cool. Well, let's talk about that timeline of exploding. Let's talk about that. So let's just, if we could. Yeah. So we didn't just do Nextdoor and Facebook ads for you, right? What else have we done? For you, you've been crushing it on Google.
Yeah.
Google calls have been coming in like crazy.
I didn't really fully understand what you were talking about when you said it's like full circle, right? So when you get impressions and you're doing I'll give you an example. I thought $3 was a lot per day. Try 50, and that'll get you the results you want. And that's what I was told, at least, by Rob and everybody. And they're like, look, it's a drop in the bucket once you get to the point, right? And it is, you wait 2 or 3 days and you have immediate results, through their programs and their templates that they already have built, that they're able to pretty much just, cross the I's, or cross the T's and dot the I's with.
Right.
I mean, and what I fully mean by going full circle is from Nextdoor to Yelp to our website to, our YouTube, everything that we do, you get so much organic keyword searches inside Google. So that helps your Google just fly up. And we don't actually run, as of right now, we're not advanced verified.
Yep.
Right. We're verified. Obviously, everybody knows in the garage door industry, the advanced verified part, I'll leave that out, but we're getting like 2 to 3 Google calls a day, maybe even 4 or 5 sometimes. And that's without running a single ad on Google or YouTube. And it's just been insanity.
That's what's so fun, right? It's so fun and it didn't happen. The Google stuff, it didn't happen in the first 30 days. We had to use like the social media platforms and paid ads or paid to get leads while we fleshed out the Google thing. But here we are 8 months later, we're getting 2, 3, and sometimes 5 calls a day from Google, which is tremendous. What about, and we're still fleshing out the advanced verification thing, and we'll get that one there, and that will just add on even more. But where did Fox News, I'm sorry, not Fox News, where did your local Fox station find you? How did they find you in the beginning?
I got you. Well, I mean, I don't really know if it's Fox News. It's a TV network that also does Fox and then ABC. I say Fox just because it's easier for me. But he actually, Rob and Tanner I kept pushing for an idea for like a legitimate video ad, right? And I kept bugging them and then I would kind of leave it alone because they would be like, oh, he must have got really busy, so we'll get some things together. And by the time I would bug him again, Tanner would be like, hey, I sent it all over to you, brother. Have you looked at it? Because he knew I was going to bug him again about it because I forget things like crazy. And we made a LiftMaster 87504 commercial. Kind of like talk through. It was like 2 minutes. And that's from throwing that ad on there for a long time. I didn't really see the results very good in my opinion. And then I said, you know what? I need to stop being clamshell. Let's throw it back out there. It's not even about the specific leads you get through there. It's through the domino effect. Yeah. And it went back up. And then I think a month later, Rocky from the news station saw it, wrote down my information, and gave me a call randomly when I was on my way somewhere. And we've gotten so many big commercial jobs and big residential contracts and everything from that commercial. Yeah. We've gotten more jobs that have nothing to do with the 87504 than anything to do with the 87504. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, wow, that sounds like a nice, cool guy, and he looks local and family owned, and I can relate to him. I want to give him a call. Really, that's all it really is. It has some customers call me about the camera one, but very rarely.
Very rarely, but it shows when you demonstrate like that LiftMaster 87504, it shows your expertise and your knowledge of your products. And I promise anyone listening, I would venture to guess 99% of your customers, past, present, and future, are on social media, on Facebook. So whether they search you out and find you on Google, whether they know about you from any other platform like Thumbtack or Nextdoor or Angie's, Yelp, but they're going to see you if the strategy is right. They will see you on Facebook, and it's about exposure. It's about branding. It's about your authority and expertise in your industry and your market. And all of a sudden you're getting a call from a Facebook ad to maybe pay a visit to the local news, be a participant on a local news interview, which is awesome. And there's going to be other opportunities for anyone that does it. So cool.
Well, it's just that whole domino effect. It's, somebody sees you on Nextdoor and they're like, I don't need a Lubentune. And then they see you on Facebook and then they can match I remember that face kinda, and then I knew who they are, cool, and then they look at it for just a second more, right? It's additional impression, right? And typically if you remember somebody or something like that, it's like even the jingles or whatever it is, when you do have that when they do have a garage door issue or something happens, whether it's their friend, family member, spouse, you know, for their house, anybody's house, they're going to remember that. And the domino effect has been insane. My best recommendation to anybody starting out is listen to Rob, listen to Tanner. Don't think you know better. Come at them with creativity. They will come at you with like a funnel that goes directly with garage door creativity, and it'll pick your stuff up. You throw it into, you know, a brainstorm of ideas. It's really fun. Just let the process work, right? And eat ramen noodles if you have to. Okay. Do whatever you got to do, man.
A week or two. You might only eat ramen for a week or two, but you'll be able to make it.
I've never actually had to eat ramen. I've always joked about it. I mean, if I'm being 100% fair, I've maybe ate it twice in a year. Just you got a knack for it every once in a while. Feel like a kid again, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I've had guys call me. I've had guys call me that said, "Well, and you know, I need marketing. I need leads because right now I'm sleeping in my truck, eating peanut butter sandwiches for lunch to make this work, and they've needed some help, you know, kind of wiggling out of that situation." So it can be a joke, but at the same time, it can be some folks' reality. Eddy, thanks a ton for joining me, man. Thank you so much for telling your story and being willing to share with guys. You know, right now, because I talk to a lot of people, and not everybody signs up with us, and they say, "Well, we'll watch your podcast for a while, or we'll join your Facebook group, or you know, I'll read your book, whatever." What would you say to someone that might be on the fence or thinking about calling us or thinking about working with us?
It's close to the same reason why I originally called you guys. For one, I was tired of seeing you guys. You know what I mean? You kept popping up all over my Facebook with it. No, I'm just joking. But I kept hearing from all these marketing companies, because my big thing is I wouldn't tell anybody no. I would just say, yeah, let me hear you out. And I would get everybody into the point to where they thought they were going to sell me. And I'm like, oh, man, I got to get going, you know, blah, blah, blah. Because I wasn't sold on the idea of what they had, because it never fit in the box that I wanted it to. I wanted a company that specialized in garage door service companies or that new stuff. And after talking with Rob briefly, it just made the most sense, because he knew people that I knew in the industry. He knew, you know, the events, everything, you know, and he owned his own home service business. He knows what it's about. I would say take the leap, you know, because here's the thing. Most companies most guys, when they first start out and they do their LLC, branded or not, whatever they're doing, you're probably got a little bit of word of mouth. You're probably doing maybe a little bit of Facebook stuff if you're creative enough. And not everybody has the talent, but it can be learned, you know, maybe some next door stuff, but it's just not even you just go from having just nothing to just a company that deals all of it for you. And then the biggest thing for me was I can call them within reason whenever I need them. You know what I mean? I've bugged the crap out of these guys so much, but you know, I'm just energetic, and eventually the conversation will get stale with me, but it takes a while, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just full of energy all the time. So it's usually a blast, you know, and I love Rob and Tanner to death. So when it comes to it, just take the leap. Because here's the thing, you know, worst case scenario, if your business fails, go back to your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's why are you scared? It's, you know, and what I've really been in it for is not money, you know, because if you're in business for money, I've learned that pretty quickly. Money is nice to have, and it makes things comfortable, but it's not what it's about. It's about helping people. And once you get that opportunity to be able to help people, like in Rob's world, he owns, you know, they do marketing, you know, to help, you know, early in garage door companies succeed. And I'm telling you right now that if instead of trying to do everything and be hard-headed in the beginning and do everything your own, if you would just suck up your ego, kill it, and just give them that specific ball of your business and put yourself where you need to be to make the most money for your business, whether that's the technician seat, the installation sheet, or whatever it is, right? Give them the ball because they know what to do, how to do it, and where to do it. Not just that, but when it comes to marketing, it's all about spending money. For example, if you start out marketing and you spend, let's say, $1,000 a month, right? That's awesome. You have learned what happens when you spend $1,000, whether you got good or bad results. I wonder how much money Rob and Tanner have spent for other companies or whoever, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's how you gain experience, is by spending the money and seeing what results it's gotten you. And that's what I've learned. And I said, why would I deal with it when these guys deal with it every day? And who knows how much money is getting counted, all that stuff. And they're getting all these results back. So they're learning quickly. It's never a perfect situation. You just dial it in slowly but surely, and it works.
It's so true. You got to tweak this stuff, and it's called optimization for a reason, because you constantly optimize. At the end of every week, at the end of every month, you pause, reflect, optimize to go forward and make it better. Man, that's an awesome story. Again, thank you so much. And yeah, anybody out there listening, and if you're considering maybe giving us a call, talking with us, something that Eddy just mentioned. And I had a call this morning with someone who's not a client, but they called me kind of wanting to kind of kick the tires and check us out. What works for a nail salon marketing, what works for even fill in the blank, landscape company or a fencing company, doesn't necessarily work for a garage door company. So it's a great idea to get someone who specialized and spent a lot of time helping a lot of garage door companies and really understands the industry and the challenges. I'm not going to pretend that me and my team know your business better than you or your job better than you, but we do understand how to work with Google and Facebook and how to get the garage door industry in front of people, in front of your customers. So, guys, join G-Door Heroes Facebook group. Go to G-Door Heroes, and then I hope you can listen to my other podcasts. If you want to text me or ask some questions, you can text me at 801-845-3320, right? That's my cell number. You can text me on that, and I will be the one texting back. So anyway, thanks again, Eddy. I know that Eddy's busy, but one of the coolest things for Eddy is he's now working on his business, whereas February, March, and April, he was in it. He was in the trenches. He was, cranking wrenches and just doing it. And that's great. And if that's you, if that's the way you feel validated, then do it. But Eddy was like, no, I want to grow and scale and run a business. And now look at the stage we're at. And only, it's exciting. I'm excited for you, man. Where will you be in a year? Where will you be in 2 years? Right. And that's what's going to be cool. All right. Any last words? And then we're going to bounce.
I think the best thing to really tell anybody is Rob might beat me up for this, but the call is free. The service is not. So you can call and ask all the questions you want. You know what I mean? The call is free, man. Rob's a nice guy. Just talk to him. It's real. I don't like it. I don't know what else could it like. I don't know. My whole world has been turned upside down with success. But if you're working as hard as, most business guys are in the very beginning, I'm sure you'll make it without any issues. And it's not like you're not going to fail along the way.
Yeah.
Just, he knows his garage door stuff, man. Just let him market for you. I promise. If you want to be hands on hands, because I have been for a lot of it and the crap out of him, I'm sure he'll enjoy it as well, as much as he's enjoyed it with me.
Oh, yeah.
But I get it. You've worked really hard for that money, and giving your money to somebody else to use for you is not an easy thing to do. But you got to understand that it's just money. That's all it is. And it's got to work for you. So
right, make it work for you. Well, cool. With that, we're going to sign off. G-Door Heroes, thank you. Best of luck. Go crush it. Finish the week strong tomorrow. And I look forward to helping you out. Talk to you later.